Step into a traditional Japanese home, and a strange thing happens to you almost immediately. Your shoulders drop, your breathing slows. Something in you, without being told to, begins to relax. And it takes a moment to understand why. Because the room is nearly empty. Bare floors, clear surfaces, a single flower perhaps, or one simple object given space. Where a Western home would have furniture, decoration, and things filling every corner, there is calm, open, deliberate emptiness. And instead of feeling cold or unfinished, it feels like exhaling. It feels like peace. Now compare that to the feeling of walking into your own home at the end of a long day. If you're honest, it's often the opposite. Even when it's clean, there's a faint tension waiting for you. The stuff, the surfaces, the visual weight of a full room pressing in, some quiet part of you unable to fully settle. You've probably never connected the two, never realized that the emptiness of a Japanese home and the calm you feel there might be the same thing, that the fullness of your own home and the low tension you feel there might also be the same thing. Let me say one thing, and then I won't bring it up again. I put the heart of everything on this channel into a small book, Wabi Sabi, Finding Peace in an Imperfect Life. It's linked below, if it speaks to you. Now let's continue. Today I want to explain exactly why Japanese people feel so calm with almost nothing in their homes, and why the rest of us, surrounded by so much more, feel so much less at peace. Because this isn't about taste or discipline or having less money to spend. It's about a completely different understanding of what a home is for and what emptiness actually is. And once you understand it, you'll see your own space and the quiet stress it may be causing you in an entirely new way. And I want to be clear about something up front, because it matters. This is not really a video about minimalism. You've seen those, the stark white rooms, the almost aggressive emptiness that looks more like a showroom or a hospital than a home. That's not what this is, and it's not what Japanese homes actually are. A traditional Japanese room isn't cold or severe. It's warm, spare, yes, but soft, human, lived in, calm. The difference matters because the calm we're talking about doesn't come from harsh, forced emptiness or from following some strict rule about owning fewer than 100 things. It comes from a completely different relationship with space and with stuff, one that feels less like deprivation and more like relief. So, set aside whatever image the word minimalism brings up. What we're really talking about is something gentler, older, and far more livable. Stay with me, because by the end you'll understand the deepest reason of all, the one that goes beyond furniture and clutter into something almost spiritual. And it's the reason this calm is available to you too, starting with a single room. Let's begin. The first and most fundamental reason is that Japanese culture understands something about emptiness that the West has almost entirely forgotten. In the West, we see empty space as nothing, a void, a lack, an unfinished, wasted area waiting to be filled. An empty wall wants a picture, an empty corner wants a plant, an empty surface wants something set on it. To the Western eye, empty space is a problem, and a full room is a complete one. Japanese culture sees it in almost the exact opposite way, through a concept called ma, the idea that empty space is not a lack but a presence, something valuable and alive in its own right. Just as the silence between notes is what turns sound into music, the empty space in a room is what allows everything in it to breathe, to be seen, to bring a feeling of calm. The emptiness isn't the absence of something. The emptiness is itself the thing, the source of the peace. This single difference in perception changes everything. Where a Westerner looks at a bare room and feels an itch to fill it, a Japanese person looks at that same room and feels its calm, sees the emptiness as the point, not the problem. And a home built around protecting empty space, rather than filling it, becomes a fundamentally more restful place to be. This is the foundation of the calm. They feel peaceful with almost nothing because to them, the nothing is actually a something, the very thing that makes a space feel good. The second reason is more practical, and it's about what's actually happening in your brain when you're in a room. Every object in your field of vision is a small demand on your attention. Your mind registers it, processes it, holds it, quietly, constantly, whether you notice or not. One object is a tiny, easy demand, but a room full of objects, crowded shelves, busy surfaces, things covering every wall and corner? Is a room making dozens or hundreds of these small demands on you at once, all the time you're in it? You don't experience this consciously as, my brain is processing 200 objects. You experience it as a feeling, a low, nameless tension, a subtle inability to relax, a sense of being faintly on edge in your own home, even when nothing is wrong. Your nervous system is quietly working, and in a full room, it never gets to stop. This is why a near-empty Japanese room feels so calming, and it's not mysterious at all. With almost nothing in it, there's almost nothing for the mind to process. The visual noise falls away. Your attention, for once, has nowhere it has to go. And in that quiet, something in you unclenches and rests. The calm isn't imagined. It's your nervous system finally being handed a space with no demands in it. Japanese people feel calm with almost nothing in their homes because almost nothing is precisely what lets the mind be still. The third reason goes deeper than what's visible in the room. It's about the invisible weight of ownership itself. There's a Japanese practice sometimes called danshari, refusing what you don't need, discarding what you don't use, and separating yourself from the emotional hold that objects have on you. It reflects a cultural comfort with owning less, and a genuine wariness of accumulation. And underneath it is an understanding that most of the West has lost, that everything you own also owns a small piece of you. Every object in your home makes a quiet, continuous claim on you. It must be cleaned, maintained, stored, organized, moved around, thought about, and eventually dealt with. Own a few things, and those claims are light. Own a great many things, and you are held by thousands of small threads of obligation at once. A web so dense you stop noticing it, but never stop feeling its weight. This is part of why a cluttered home is so subtly exhausting even when you're doing nothing in it. Some part of you is being claimed by every single object in the room. Japanese people, owning less, simply carry less of this invisible weight. Fewer possessions mean fewer obligations, fewer things making their quiet claims, less of that background hum of ownership. The calm of a near-empty home isn't only about what you see, it's about what you're freed from. Less to manage, less to maintain, less holding on to you. And in that lightness, there is a peace that no amount of beautiful, well-organized stuff can ever provide, because the stuff itself is the weight. Consider what this means in practice, because it's more concrete than it sounds. A person with a crowded home is never truly done. There's always something to be tidied, a surface to be cleared, a drawer that needs sorting, a pile to be dealt with, a thing to be fixed or stored or organized. The home is a permanent, low-level to-do list that follows them from room to room and is never finished. And some part of the mind knows this, always, even when they're trying to relax. The near-empty home is different in a way that's hard to overstate. With little in it, there is little to do. The home reaches a state of genuine completion, of rest, that the full home never can. And a person living in a space that is actually done, nothing demanding, nothing waiting, can relax in a way that a person living inside an endless to-do list simply cannot. The calm is the calm of finishedness, and only a home with little in it can ever truly be finished. The fourth reason is about a trap the West has fallen into, and Japan has largely avoided: the belief that the way to feel content is to acquire more. In much of the Western world, our homes are shaped by a constant, low-grade acquisitiveness. There's always something more to buy. More furniture, more decoration, the new thing, the upgrade, the item that will finally make the room complete and make us feel settled. Marketing runs on this. It sells us the promise that the next purchase will bring the contentment we're looking for. And so we fill our homes, chasing a feeling of enough that the filling never actually delivers. Because the moment we acquire the thing, the wanting simply moves to the next thing. Japanese culture, at its healthiest, is far less caught in this. The instinct toward simplicity, toward matanai and not wanting more, toward finding richness in less rather than in more, quietly steps off that treadmill. And here's what happens when you stop chasing enough through acquisition. You discover that a home with less in it, held lightly and appreciated fully, feels more like enough than a home crammed with the endless pursuit of it. The calm of the near-empty Japanese home is partly the calm of a person who has stopped chasing, who isn't looking around the room mentally cataloging what's still missing, what to buy next, what would complete it. The room is allowed to simply be enough, and so is the person in it. This is a peace the acquisitive home can never reach, because a home built around wanting more is, by definition, a home that is never complete, and neither is the mind that lives in it. The fifth reason is aesthetic, and it flips a core Western assumption on its head. In the West, we tend to associate beauty and richness with abundance. More decoration, more objects, fuller rooms, the well-appointed home crowded with lovely things. A rich, beautiful home is a full one. Emptiness reads as poverty, as lack, as a home that couldn't afford to be filled. Japanese aesthetics, shaped by traditions like wabi-sabi and the spareness of the tea ceremony, find beauty in almost the opposite place, in simplicity, in restraint, in the single perfect object given space rather than the many crowded together. There's a deep understanding that when you have one beautiful thing on a clear surface, you actually see it, appreciate it, feel it, whereas the same object lost among 100 others becomes invisible, just more visual noise. Abundance, strangely, dulls beauty. Space reveals it. This is why the near-empty Japanese room doesn't feel deprived. It feels refined. The emptiness isn't poverty. It's the frame that lets the few chosen things matter. And living surrounded by a few things you genuinely love, each given room to be appreciated, is a quieter and deeper pleasure than being surrounded by an abundance you no longer even notice. The calm here is partly the calm of genuine appreciation, of a home where the things that remain are actually seen and loved, rather than accumulated and forgotten. Beauty in this view needs space to exist, and a home with space is a home where beauty and calm can finally breathe. The final reason, and the deepest, is about what a home is actually for. In much of the West, whether we admit it or not, the home has become partly a display, a place that shows our taste, our success, our identity, our story, through the things we've accumulated and arranged. Even our relaxation spaces are curated to be seen by guests, by ourselves, by an imagined audience. The full, decorated home is in part a performance of who we are. In Japanese thinking, the home leans much more toward being a sanctuary, a protected inner space, separate from the outside world, whose purpose is rest and restoration, rather than display. This is the same instinct behind removing shoes at the door, the sharp line between the busy performing outer world and the calm private interior. And a sanctuary doesn't need to be full. It needs to be peaceful. It exists not to impress anyone, but to hold and restore the people who live in it. This is the deepest reason of all, and it reframes everything. When your home's job is to display, you fill it, because display requires things to show. But when your home's job is to restore you, emptiness isn't a failure. It's exactly what the job requires. A sanctuary is spare on purpose. It gives you nothing to process, nothing to perform, nothing to manage, just space and quiet and rest. Japanese people feel calm with almost nothing in their homes because their homes were never meant to be full. They were meant to be a refuge, and a refuge, by its nature, is emptied of the world rather than filled with it. So let's bring it together, because the point of all this isn't to admire Japanese homes from a distance. It's to notice what it reveals about your own. Japanese people feel calm with almost nothing because they understand that empty space is a presence, not a lack. Because fewer objects mean fewer demands on the mind. Because owning less means carrying less invisible weight. Because they've stepped off the treadmill of chasing enough through more. Because they find beauty in simplicity rather than abundance. And because their home is a sanctuary to be rested in, not a showroom to be filled. 6 reasons. And every one of them points the same direction, toward less. And here's the genuinely hopeful part. None of this is uniquely Japanese in a way you can't access. The calm of the near-empty home isn't a cultural birthright. It's available to anyone willing to reconsider their relationship with emptiness and with stuff. You don't need to strip your home bare or become a monk. You just need to begin, in one room, to treat empty space as something to protect rather than fill, to own a little less, to let a few things you love have room to breathe, to remember that your home is meant to restore you, not to perform for anyone. Start with a single surface, clear it, and leave it clear. Sit in the small pocket of calm that opens up. That feeling, that quiet exhale, is the same peace a Japanese home offers, and it was available in your own space all along, buried under everything you'd been told you needed to fill it with. Because the secret, in the end, is almost absurdly simple. The calm was never in the things, it was in the space between them, the space we spent so long trying to fill, never realizing it was the very thing we were looking for. Now I'd genuinely like to hear from you. When you imagine your home with far less in it, more empty space, more room to breathe, how does that make you feel? Longing? Anxious? Both? Tell me honestly in the comments, because I think your answer says a lot. And if this gave you a new way to see your own space, share it with one person whose home and mind could use a little more room to breathe. I'll see you in the next one.